I'm going to ask a question that has really kind of already been answered, but I have to ask it anyway because I'm Captain Obvious. Is it real? I mean, is it something that has legs that's definitely going to be with us? Is it a fad? I guess I'm asking for your opinion, since we really don't know yet, and it's still relatively new. Or is it not relatively new? And like you said, it's been around since 2008. Does it have legs? Is it catching on, Dan?
Well, to answer your first question here, is it real? Yeah, it's real, and I'll tell you why. Simply because you can transact it. You know, it's real from the standpoint of you have a Bitcoin, you can buy stuff with it. So it's no different than saying, well, is $1 real? Well, look at this. It's a piece of paper. So if I break it down, well, what is it? You know, $1 is only as good as it's backed by the U.S. government.
Right, and somebody's willingness to accept it as well.
Right, but here's the thing that throws people off about Bitcoin and why I believe you asked that question, because you're saying, well, what exactly is Bitcoin tied to? And the answer is nothing except for the demand for it. And that's what throws people off. That decentralization, that there's nothing behind it, is what people have a tough time grasping. But to the extent people want it, then it has value. It is real.
Do you think, just as this is really a side question, and again, more of an opinion question, since we're still, even after 2008, we're looking at 10 years, but, that's even though it's a lifetime in technology, it's still, relatively new. I mean, is it something that you think is going to last, that's here to stay, and get used to it? And will it change? Do you see it changing in the future? And then the other thing is, if there's no value, if it's not backed by anything, is there the potentiality for something worth, if it is accepted as mainstream and does become, another 5 years, 10 years, whatever, people are trading in Bitcoin and buying and selling, etc. Does that open up the potentiality for financial distress down the road?
All great issues you're raising here. So let's start with, is this mainstream? I think to a large extent it's already mainstream. To the extent, for example, that you could actually buy real estate with cryptocurrency. For example, I had done some TV interviews about how you had foreigners. We don't know where they're from because it's anonymous, but there was some speculation from China that they were buying up real estate using cryptocurrency. So I believe as the world gets smaller and, everything is kind of getting mixed more and more, and you can't stop progress, you can't stop the technology, I think cryptocurrency is here to stay. So I don't think it's a fad. It may change, it may evolve, but I think over time and in our lifetime, Dan, that we are going to definitely see much more of a move towards this. I mean, let's go back in time when credit cards came out, and you looked at a piece of plastic that you've never seen before and say, this is money? How come I hand this to somebody and I can get stuff for it?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as we're going into this new territory to say, well, how does this work? And that's why I'm saying, to the extent you can transact business with it, well, then it is real. It does have value. It's business at the speed of thought, so everything is moving that much faster. So I think it is here to stay. And I was reading an article in Forbes, Dan, and they had an interview in there with a gentleman named Tim Draper, who's a venture capitalist,
right?
A pretty heavy hitter. And back in 2014, he made a prediction that Bitcoin would hit $10,000 within 3 years. And that's when Bitcoin really didn't have that much value. He has got on the record now and said he believes that Bitcoin is going to hit 250,000 by the year 2022. So, maybe it doesn't have to hit 250,000 each, but still, if you're talking about getting into that level of value within the next, 4 years, that's tremendous.
That's incredible.
What's going to happen?
That's incredible. And once it hits critical mass, like you said, just like credit cards, where it becomes accepted and it breaks over that barrier, gets over that hump of people saying, "What is this?" And now they're in the acceptance stage. Then there's no question it's going to be here for a long time to come, and it probably, as you said, already is. I mean, then that's why we're talking about it, because I want to get folks up to speed on it.